have usually used their methods, which are oil money, to bribe the population, as we have seen last month when the king offered or promised $37 billion, in other words, to quieten the people. And we usually see the use of force and the security forces crushing the demonstrations. We know that in Saudi Arabia, demonstrations are illegal, punishable by imprisonment and flogging, and there has been a reminder to do this. The problem now is that whether it's the use of the sword is limited and dull and outdated. It's not going to meet the demands on the new challenges that we are facing today.
Okay.
The challenges from Twitter and from they have not really grasped the need to have reform, to have real constitution, and to have the people are asking for dignity and for constitutional monarchy now.
Okay, let's put that point to Khalid Al-Maina. He's on the phone from Jeddah. Khalid Al-Maina, how worried is Saudi Arabia over the growing dissent in the country and the prospect of these uprisings?
Well, I think I would agree that there is an Arab awakening. I would agree that young people in the world, in the Arab world, are becoming restless. We are part of the Arab world. I see things changing. I see since January 25th, 25, a new buzz all over the Arab world. And as I said, Saudi Arabia is part of the Arab world. Young people now talk openly of, trying to be part of a decision-making process. Whatever level it is, their goals are different, their visions are different. And they're not even listening. In my own family, young people don't listen to me anymore. So I think there is a change all around. And it's important that those people who oversee the affairs of the states in the Arab world, including the Gulf and in Saudi Arabia, realize that there is a new constituency out down there. And these people should be listened to and their voices should be heard.
Abdulaziz Al-Khamis, is that correct? Young people want to be part of this democratic decision-making process. I mean, more than 17,000 people have already backed a call on Facebook to hold 2 demonstrations this month. How big is the problem for the House of Saud?
Yes, it's true. And what we observe in the demands on Facebook or on Twitter and other websites, they asking for change in the way how the Al Saud ruling the country. The demand is concentrate on the root out the corruption, and achieve the justice and equality, equitable distribution of wealth, and people wanted to participate and share the power and to have a self determination through elected Shura Council. They have a constitutional kingdom and whole chapter to the authorities, modernization of the state and its institutions, and to have a freedom, media freedom and other things. I think the new generation have demands with the new demands. The problem is the government is facing all of these demands by the old tools, and it will not work. They need a revolutionary way of thinking inside the Al Saud family, not only in the government.
Okay, all right. Let's bring in back Ma Yamani in London to open this out a little bit. Ma Yamani, you talked about the Arab awakening. I want to just raise the issue, if I can, of contagion, because that's quite important, isn't it? I mean, there are reports that King Abdullah told the Bahraini authorities next door that if they don't crush their own Shia revolt, his forces will. How much of a threat is the dissent in Bahrain to the House of Saud, do you think?
The dissent in Bahrain is a real threat to the Saudi monarchy, basically, as we know, because of the Shia in the eastern province, who are related to the Shia Bahraini, and they are around the border. Now, this has been a serious problem for the Al Saud, as in they had continued the politics of discrimination, severe discrimination against the Shia, who have been asking for reform. And if there is trouble in Bahrain or in, they're tied by the umbilical cord, if there is trouble in Saudi Arabia, Eastern Province, then it can expand. There are no more borders. The borders are open. Borders of ideas are open. Saudi Arabia is also in the south, has Yemen. And Yemen, again, there are the movements of the people, the tribes, the ideas. So that's another threat down the south. So the ruling family in Saudi Arabia are faced with the outside influence and this upheaval that is taking place in the region. But what they have not yet done is really embark on serious reform. From 2003, when the reformers have asked for, and academics and professionals for, constitutional monarchy, they were jailed. So, as we have seen in other countries, if they do not communicate with the new, with the middle class, the educated middle class, and have dialogue with them, then we have seen that today there are more serious demands and that are dangerous and threatening for the survival of the regime.
Okay, so they ignore those voices at their peril, I guess. Let's bring in back Khalid Al-Maina on the phone from Jeddah. Khalid, King Abdullah has been accused perhaps of misjudged bribery in an attempt to avoid unrest. He unveiled this $36 billion package of social reforms. Is that going to work, do you think?
Well, I think any reform will work. I don't think so that at the press of a button you come up with that kind of plan. I heard from the sources in the offing. I'm not an advocate of anyone, but I would just like to point out one thing which was said regarding King Abdullah telling the Bahrainis that they don't take care of the Shia problem. I think the protests in Bahrain are mainly also non-sectarian, and the Shia are 70%, and they have valid points. But I would not like to focus this on the Shia Sunni thing, because it's going to cause great division. Remember that 44% of Saddam's pilots and his top officers were Shias in the fight against Iran. They didn't go on the other side. I would think these are genuine aspirations by all people, no matter what sects or ideology they belong. People are seeing this the awakening in the Arab world. People would like to be others. I asked some young Saudis yesterday, what would you like to be? They say, you would like to be the young of Singapore and Japan, and you would like to have a level playing field. Now, having said that, I don't want to narrow it into Shia or Sunni, because it defeats the purpose.
All right, well, let's bring in back Abdulaziz Al-Khamis. Abdulaziz Al-Khamis,